If you pay attention to the news, you may have noticed that when famous people get in trouble and they try to make an apology, it usually makes things worse. They just sound like they don't get it, what they did. My name's Anna Runkle. I'm also known as the Crappy Childhood Fairy. And well, if you grew up with a crappy childhood like I did, maybe you don't know how to make an apology either. It's actually kind of a high-level skill. If you don't really have a role model, then you might have some bad habits for what to do when you've hurt somebody's feelings, like, I don't know, raise your voice or start making excuses or start blaming the other person for your behavior, or my favorite, just blow up the relationship altogether. So you don't have to do that anymore. And I can show you how to make a good apology. So let's just take a hypothetical situation where you would have hurt somebody's feelings. Let's say you trashed your friend behind her back, like gossiped about her and said something negative, and it got back to her. And you heard it got back to her, but she hasn't confronted you about it yet. What do? The first thing is take some time, if you can, and just reflect on it. Just think through what happened, what did you do? And if you need some help, do you have a friend that you really, really trust? I mean, who can be honest with you about what your part might have been in saying this and what might be better behavior? It's always really good if you can run this by a second person for a second opinion, because, you know, we actually run the risk of sort of blaming ourselves too much for things and then not enough for things. So, but if you don't have anybody handy and you're in a pinch, just think quickly. What did I do? Okay, I trashed my friend. The second thing is take inventory about it. And you may have seen on our YouTube channel or on the blog the inventory, the video, how to take an inventory. And in this, I show you how to write down your fears and resentments about a situation, and then just kind of pray and meditate on having it removed, having the fear and resentment removed. And this can kind of help clear it. A lot of times our hurtful behavior is coming out of, you know, just like a tangle of fear, and it's not totally conscious. When the fear is gone, it's a lot easier to see clearly what was happening. And this is all not part of the apology yet. You're still just preparing for the apology to get clear about what you did. The third thing is you write down what your part in it was. It's really helpful to write it down just so that you can like logically think through. So I actually write it in columns. I put the person's name and I put down what I did and kind of detail it. I told our mutual friends that our friend used to shoplift. But that was a secret, and I promised I would never tell anybody. I'm just making something up. Then, in a next column, you write down, how would you feel if somebody had done that to you? So if I had told somebody a secret that was embarrassing, and they had told people about it, I'd be really upset. I'd feel angry. I'd feel worried what people thought. I would be not sure I could ever trust my friend again. So you write down, this is how I would feel if it had been done to me. Okay, then write down, how do you intend to go forward from now on? Can you be different? And I mean, be sincere about this. Don't be unrealistic. But do you think, if we use this situation as an example, do you think that you could stop trashing people behind their back? And I actually recommend that you just completely stop talking bad about people behind their back in all cases. But let's just take this friend. Are you willing to never do that again and to keep secrets? Yes? Okay, great. So write that down. Now you're almost prepared. So now it's time to contact that person and ask if you can have a talk, that you wanted to talk to them about something that you did and that you feel bad about. Now, I just want to have this whole other thing here that if you're in the moment and you trash somebody and they're there and they confront you about it, you can skip everything I said up until now. You're face to face with the person. And I really recommend that when you apologize to somebody, you make it as direct as possible. Don't send a text when you could do it on the phone. Don't do it on the phone when you could do it in person. As direct as possible will give you the best chances of a good, clean, thorough apology that mends hearts. So now that you're with the person, you tell them what you did, and you tell it to them totally clean without any excuses. Like, I was under a lot of stress, I was tired. No excuses. No bringing in their part in it. You know, you were saying all this stuff about me. You don't bring that in. You just say, I said this stuff that I promised to keep secret, and I broke my promise to you. then you go ahead and tell them how you would feel if that were done to you. Now you've done your homework on this. You go, well, I would feel angry. I'd feel betrayed. I'd feel worried what everybody thinks. But it's really important to say that you understand how it feels to have that done. That's the part where, you really want people to get it when they're apologizing to you. And then you tell them, I am sorry. You let them know how you intend to change your behavior in the future. I intend to never talk behind your back again or to share secrets that I promise to keep secret. And then ask them to forgive you. Please forgive me. Now here's the hardest part sometimes. This is the 10th part. You totally let go of what happens then. You just honestly give your apology, and sometimes people will hug you and say it's okay, or sometimes they'll say, I have no idea what you're talking about, I didn't even know. And sometimes they'll just get really angry at you and it will be worse. Now the odds of them getting angry go down when you make a good, clean apology that doesn't have any sort of blame or excuses in it and that demonstrates that you get it, what you did. But sometimes it just doesn't go that well, and you can let go of that because ultimately you're making the apology for yourself, for your own peace of mind, and to be able to hold your head up and know that, yeah, you made a mistake, but you cleaned up your mess afterwards. And then hopefully your relationship can recover from that. It's beautiful making an apology because it does help face reality about the consequences of, when we break promises or when we act in ways that are not consistent with the love and friendship that we feel for other people. So I hope this tool, you can write it all down. I hope this tool helps you just make a really good apology and go ahead and run out there today. If there's somebody that you've been putting off your apology, now you know how to do it.